National Football League next year for a team that's going to give him a chance.
It's Waddle Wednesday with Tom Waddle.
Listen, I got a pedicure in an hour. When I get back here, the wheels better be spinning, all right?
On Kap and J on ESPN Chicago.
Tommy Waddle's with us on the Yuengling Hotline.
Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America.
Good morning, Tommy. How are you?
I'm doing better than Kap, obviously.
That's
all
okay?
Right.
No, he's not okay. He's had a rough start. His name calls some of our teammates.
Yeah.
He's had a very rough 6 to 6:30. I think he's awake now, though. I think the medicine has kicked in.
By the way, congrats on your favorite baseball team getting the number 1 pick.
Yes, finally some sunshine over at 35th and Beck. Very happy about that. And the number 1 pick has a Chicago name.
Oh, yeah, Rock Chalowski.
Rock Chalowski, you know what I mean? It's Chicken to North with Rock Chalowski. Live from the Cheesecake Factory back after this. So I'm so looking forward to seeing Rock Chalowski in a Sox uniform.
Now develop, whoever it is, now develop them. And we say this all the time, whether it's the Bears, it's the Cubs, it's the White Sox, it's the Bulls. You got to find talent, and then when you bring it in, then you got to develop it. So, this sounds great. I love when there is buzz and energy about young players that can change the direction of a franchise, like we see here with the Bears and with the Cubs with PCA and hopefully with Buzelis with the Bulls at some point. So,
speaking of the Omaha Cubs,
my God,
I know. Listen, I like your team, Kap. They've just defined who they are. You just got to live with it.
It is so
or
frustrating.
Call everyone in the building names and not be invited to anything.
I just read Hoodie the quotes from Andrew Friedman. He is the president of the Los Angeles Dodgers, former Tampa Bay Rays exec.
Playing a
so
different
he
game.
Knows both. You know what he said?
He said, "We'll take Edwin Diaz for 3 years and $65 million. We'll defer to $4.5 million each year."
Correct.
To get underneath the luxury tax.
He said, "Could we sign another high-priced free agent? I would say we definitely can. How likely? I don't know. That's another question." They're talking.
That's code for "you bet your sweet ass we can."
Yeah, they're talking about a short-term, high average annual value deal for Kyle Tucker, and there have been discussions with about the Tigers and the pursuit of Tarek Skubal.
Okay, that's fine. Do you mind if I ask Tommy about the Bears? All right.
Screw the Bears. I'm so frustrated.
No.
I'm so frustrated that my favorite team has an ATM for their stadium, and they refuse to spend.
You're not going to just choke the show down with your Cubs angst.
Boy,
Okay,
with a
okay.
I hope Danny didn't hear "screw the Bears."
Yeah.
For a minute.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'd like to talk about the Bears, the thing that drives the bus in this city, not the moribund Chicago Cubs and their offseason, if you don't mind.
God, we suck.
Yeah, no question. But the Bears are doing well, and so I want to ask Tommy your thoughts about Caleb Williams in the offense against the Browns defense. This is going to be something we're going to key on here. I'm just wondering, is there something that Caleb Williams can do that could be better than the last game against this Browns defense? What do you want to see Caleb do that's maybe different?
Against the Browns versus the Packers?
No. What can he do against this Browns defense that he didn't do against the Packers?
Yeah, I'd get off to a quicker start, probably. Thought he had a really rough first series. He overthrew Burden on his first throw and obviously overthrew EJ and the deep in route on 3rd and long. Other than that, Jonathan, I thought that the disjointed nature of their offense in the first half was less about Caleb and more about, like, their offensive line was overwhelmed by a very good Packers front. Like, the Packers, give the Packers credit. That's by far the best team they've faced all year. Defensively, by head and shoulders above anybody that they faced all year. And they gave the Bears very talented offensive line and tight ends. They were a handful, and they couldn't create any, space in the running game either. So I thought it was more a lack of player execution than it was anything, and I tip my cap. Like, look, you're playing against one of the better teams. Sometimes they get the best of you on a series-to-series basis. So I didn't think Caleb was really the cause of all of the ineptitude on offense. And then in the second half, he was a huge reason why you got back in that game. It really was a tale of two halves offensively. They had 244 yards, 18 points. They were 7 of 8, I think, on third downs in the second half. So, like, they came out and they executed better. I believe Ben made some adjustments. He said no, but you look and they got him out on the edge a little bit more where he's comfortable and away from that pass rush. I thought he was pressured a little bit more than you probably expected, as solid as that Bears offensive line has been. But, again, that's Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary and a really talented group of Packer defenders. So at the end of the day, we still wring our hands about the completion percentage, Jonathan, and I get it, and it has to get better, and some of the layups have to be hit. But at the end of the day, I keep telling you guys this. He's a second-year quarterback. He's the first year of Ben's system, and in the second half, he basically, along with a really good running game, he carried you into contention against one of the best teams in the league. So, I look at it and I do admit, Carm's got a bunch of great stats about his lack of accuracy and expected accuracy, expected completion percentage, and those are all valid concerns, and you want them to get better. But at this point, I think you sacrifice some of that for the upside, and you're okay with it. Like, again, the 57.8% completion percentage in today's game's got to go up, but a handful of his incompletions on Sunday too, Jonathan, were throwaways. And I would ask you, against a very good pass rush, and you're on the run, so you're avoiding sacks, and sacks are drive killers, and you're not throwing the ball up for grabs, so you're taking care of the football. I'm okay if you complete 55, 54, 50% passes against that style of defense when you're making some of the plays you are. So I guess I don't know if that makes sense, but there are certainly things for him to clean up. But the upside, and if he cleans them up, you're looking at Josh Allen. If he doesn't, well, he's not Josh Allen, but the playmaking ability is going to keep you in all of these games, even against better opponents. And I think that's what I'm kind of clinging to now, and knowing he's a young quarterback, and the hope is he'll clean up some of the other stuff as time goes on.
More with Tommy on a Waddle Wednesday on Kap and J Hood.
You're listening to Kap and J Hood on ESPN Chicago.
To you by WindowWorks, the company your neighbors trust. You have an actual Bears question for Tom Waddle now? Okay.
GT, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Gregory Thomas Waddle.
Okay. Great.
I am a little concerned, not at the talent matchup, because I think we've got a far superior football team, obviously, but coming off the Packer game, now Cheryl Scott's writing 25 below wind chills on Sunday.
That's going to suck for pregame right there at the Dr. Pepper booth.
Oh, boy. My question is, as a former standout wide receiver in the National Football League who's played on that very field, when a ball comes in,
make sure you got your muff. Ask Brady if he's got an extra one for you if you need it.
Keep that hand warm in that muff.
Yeah.
There you go. Can you see a scenario at all where, oh, God, ball went off whoever's hands, and it can lead to fluky stuff because of the climate and the temperature?
Yeah, you definitely.
That's what concerns me.
Yeah, but I would be more concerned with a quarterback who's making his fourth career start than I would with a guy that actually takes care of the ball as well as anybody. But it's a factor for everyone. It's another reminder for them to just pound the rock, come out and ground and pound it. That's a really good Cleveland defense. I get it. Myles Garrett is best pass rusher in the league. What do we say about great pass rushers? Run the ball right at them and make them play the run as well as the pass, and hopefully you wear them out a little bit and they don't have a full tank in the late in the third and early in the fourth. And I think they did that to the Packers last Sunday. The Titans went into Cleveland and hung 31 on them and ran for 184. So, I like our offense a hell of a lot better than I like the Titans' offense. Mm-hmm. So I would say, considering the conditions, come out and ground and pound and wear them out. And then on the other side, just don't keep everything in front of you. Make Shedeur Sanders, who played really well against the Titans and looks a lot more poised than I thought he would this early in his career, make them go the length of the field consistently and force them to prove that they can play mistake-free football. Like, Packers just killed us with a big play, 8 big plays on Sunday. So, but yeah, back to your original point. Yeah, you definitely – concentration and ball security is going to have to be emphasized when you find yourself in those types of horrible conditions.
Tom, as a coach, could you explain to me how you would explain to DJ Moore, look, We like Rome, we like Burden, we like Loveland. And even though I told you at the beginning of the season, no block, no rock, you've done everything you can to be able to open up holes, but we just can't get you the football. That's got to be frustrating if you're DJ Moore, a proud wide receiver that can't get the football. So how do you explain that if you're the coaching staff?
I think you just did, Jonathan. I think your explanation was perfect. Look, everyone's going to have a role here. And it's really funny. I heard you guys talking about this yesterday, and I heard someone call in and say, wow, he's wide open on every play, and Caleb's not. No, that's not true. Caleb just won't throw him the ball. Excuse me. That's not true either. He threw the ball to him 140 times last year. DJ was the most targeted receiver. This is not a Caleb doesn't like DJ thing. This is not a DJ's running wide open and Caleb doesn't see him thing. From my perspective, and I went back and looked at the film again yesterday in the morning, Jonathan, just to focus on DJ. DJ's a heck of a player. They're asking him to play a role that is comparable to like Deebo Samuel in San Francisco. Brandon Ayuk took care of all the 7 routes and the deep ends and some of the other route running stuff. And Deebo Samuel was a guy that was very productive and did a lot of good things more in the catch, run after the catch situation. Ben said it in the preseason. He said DJ's as good as there is in the league in run after the catch. So they've tried to get him the ball. Even go back to the Packer game on Sunday. They tried to throw him the smoke screen, got blown up. They tried the underhand, shovel pass. It got blown up. Caleb sailed him, on the deep end on the third down on the first drive. But that's not unique to DJ. Caleb has sailed the ball over the head of Rome and other guys as well. So I think it's as much as they've defined kind of roles. And to me, as you watch them over the course of the season, and I don't think there's any, there's no mystery here. Rome is a guy that they've identified as their top receiver. They really like Colston Loveland at this point, matched up against linebackers and safeties and smaller nickelbacks. They like what Luther Burden does, and they want to amp up his snap counts. So the role they've defined for DJ, and this is just watching the film and telling you what you see, is a guy that they're trying to get the ball in the hands of quickly and let him do some impressive stuff after the catch. He'll run the occasional deep in, and there's a lot of clear outs and there's a lot of other stuff that you just look at him. Go back to Detroit, Jonathan, like with Ben to try to determine what he's trying to do. DJ doesn't play the Jameson Williams role. That's elite speed and stretch and defenses. Amon-Ra is more of a quick twitch and more precise, good route runner. Like, DJ's got a really good skill set. He's a really good player. And I don't think they're down on him. They've just defined his role, and this is what his role is. Now, we may all look at it and go, wow, for $26 million, these are the amount of targets. Well, that's a question you have to ask them in the offseason. But right now, I think it's just a matter of, I don't think it's anything nefarious or devious. This is how we feel we can get the most out of DJ. And right now, they're not really getting the most out of a lot of their passing situations.
Tommy, quickly before we let you go, the weather factor, you played in it. Did it make you focus more catching the football?
Did. For me, it did. Yeah, I told you that, guys, about the wind as well. When everything's not right around you, you definitely have to be more focused. It sucks, It's once you get going, though. I mean, the adrenaline's going. You get the sweat going. I would much rather play in warm weather than cold weather. But look, I think the mentally tougher team has an advantage here, and my hope is. And if there's anyone that's worried about a letdown, I'm not worried about a letdown, especially this team and this coaching staff and this marriage at this particular time. I don't expect a letdown. By the same token, I don't believe they're good enough to just show up and throw their hats out there. We saw that against the Giants. We've seen that against other teams. So they're the better team. They should win. The only way they don't win is if they help the Cleveland Browns win this game. But I don't expect this to be a game where we look at and go, guys, they weren't ready to play. They're still an unfinished product. So, but this is going to suck for everyone, including fans, to be out there in this type of weather.
Tom, as always, we appreciate the time.
Love you guys. Have a great day.
We love you, Tommy.
Try to control him, Jonathan.
It's in my contract, Tommy.
Bye, Tom.
The oldest brewery in America.
Tommy, you're brought to you by Window Works.
Love that dude.
Window Works?
Tommy.
Oh.
Friends, your neighbors trust.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
How about that?
Bye, guys.
So what's next, Tommy? What's next on the show?
You guys are going to thrill everybody with tremendous sports acumen.
Shot or
and-
no
and
shot.
hilarity. And shot or no shot. That's next.
He couldn't help us but to put his beak in it. But yes, it is shot or no shot. He can't help himself. And that's